When Ethan turned 10 years old, his parents took him to a new house. They did not ask for his opinion, and they did not explain their reasons. They only said that it would be quieter there. The house stood on the edge of a forest, far from the road and even farther from other people. It was old, 2 stories tall, with narrow windows that looked as if they did not want to see the world outside. From the very first night, Ethan felt that something was wrong with this place. His room was at the very end of a long hallway, farthest from the stairs and farthest from his parents' bedroom. When he turned off the light and lay down in bed, the house was unnaturally silent. After a while, he heard footsteps. They were not loud and they were not fast. They were slow, steady, and rhythmic. Step, pause, step. They were coming from the hallway. Ethan held his breath and listened. The footsteps stopped directly in front of his door. The handle moved slightly, but the door did not open. In the morning, he asked his parents if they had been walking around during the night, but they told him they had slept the entire time. On the second night, the footsteps returned, but this time there was something else. A whisper. It was quiet and unclear, as if someone were speaking too close to the floor. Ethan could not understand the words. On the third night, he gathered enough courage to open the door. The hallway was empty, but on the floor, right in front of the doorway, there were wet footprints. Small, childlike. They led toward the stairs. From that moment on, the house began to change. Toys moved on their own during the night. Books fell from the shelves, and Ethan woke up feeling a heavy weight on his bed, as if someone were sitting beside him. One morning, he noticed a drawing on the wall, made with something black and dirty. It showed a boy standing in the hallway. The boy had no face. Beneath the drawing were written the words, "This was my room." A few days later, Ethan discovered a door that had not been there before. It stood at the very end of the hallway where there should have been a wall. The door was low, old, and its handle was ice cold to the touch. Behind it was a small room with no windows and no furniture. In the center lay an old mattress, and next to it was a small child's shoe. The walls were covered with deep scratch marks, as if someone had tried desperately to claw their way out. When Ethan turned around, the door slammed shut on its own. The light went out. In the darkness, he heard breathing that was not his. Then a child's voice whispered, asking him to give the room back, saying it had been theirs, that it was their place. Ethan's scream filled the house. His parents found him an hour later, curled up against the door with bloody fingers and an empty stare. From that night on, Ethan stopped speaking. Sometimes he smiled at someone no one else could see, and sometimes he whispered toward the hallway. One night, he disappeared. They found him in the small room, lying peacefully on the old mattress. A new drawing had appeared on the wall. It showed 2 boys. One had a face. The other no longer needed one. The house was sold a month later. The new owners had a child, a boy, and a room at the end of the hallway.